But right now, let's talk a little Arizona Wildcat football. We are just a couple of days away, less than 48 hours from the first practice Wednesday at 9 a.m. The fellows will be on the field, and we cannot be more ready for football than we are here at Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the beginning of my 17th season covering Arizona athletics. Seen a lot of guys come through here. In fact, one of them is celebrating a birthday. We'll get to that as well today. But a new running backs coach. Well, they're all new coaches. There's very few holdovers except for Brett Arcee from last year's staff. But the new running backs coach is a gentleman by the name of Alonzo Carter, another one of the coaches who came down with Brent Brennan from San Jose State. This is a guy that has a lot of respect in the college coaching community. He has been with the Spartans since the 2017 season and now is going to take over the running back room here at the University of Arizona. He found a familiar face when he walked into the running back room here in Tucson. We'll get to that as well. But first, let's hear from Alonzo Carter a little bit. Again, we talked to a lot of these running back coaches. They all talk about protecting the football. It was a mantra of Scotty Graham and his running back room here on the Jed Fish staff. It will continue to be that. And Alonzo Carter says, hey, we don't just talk about it. We got the receipts to prove it.
That's a big thing. In 2020, we was number one in the country. We had 0 fumbles on the season. Was the only team, tied for first in the country in that area. And 21 and 22, if you look at the track record where we came from, we've always been in the top 3 in the country as far as not losing fumbles and making sure that that's something that we emphasize. We make sure that that ball is chin, high and tight. We have our own little language that we use for that, but it's something that we're going to bring with us from where we were to over here. I don't even know what the numbers were last year as far as lost balls or lost fumbles. We're just going to make sure that's something that you see every day. It's going to be a premium, especially in the running back room. That's going to be something you're going to hear me. If you want to hear me yell, you see a ball on that ground. That's when you really see me. But we really, really take pride in making sure that we take care of the football.
Well, and it's going to be interesting. We had we talked a little bit about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Bill, on the show. He's transferring in from New Mexico. A lot of folks believe that he might be the guy that eventually emerges to the top. But the reality is in college football nowadays is you're going to have, as much as maybe some of our guys like David Adams don't want to hear this, you're going to have a number of guys running the football. And Rayshon Luke will tell you here shortly why that's important, but he's going to be one of them. He's a junior. Can you believe Speedy is a junior? And he's another one of those guys from the Trinity League. Servite, the Servite, go along with those Servite guys. He went to St. John Bosco, all out of that Trinity League in Orange County, California. And Rayshon is finally at the point where he is going to be at the forefront of the running back room, and he talks about all those guys that he learned from Michael Wiley to everyone else that he's been a part of in that running back room the last 2 seasons.
Just take away the leadership, how they just moved around the building, and they was always here, always active, always present. And just how they attacked it, practice, how they attacked it, the games, how they attacked it, the meeting rooms, how they studied, how they watched film, just all of it. I try and take each of it from each and all of us, Jonah too, DJ William, all of them. We all learn from each other.
Yeah, so Rayshon Luke came out, again, he can run, and he came out of high school with a ton of offers. Arizona State, Boston College, Duke, Florida was on the list. Number of SEC schools. Georgia, some schools we're going to be seeing in our new league, like Kansas, all on the list. But one of the schools to where he almost committed was, in fact, San Jose State.
Me and Coach Zoe go back from my junior year of high school, so he's always been a good coach as far as being when he was at San Jose, just how he was keeping me on my feet, as far as with my grades, knowing what I want to do with football, and just being there, teaching me and my family this whole process. It was just amazing getting recruited by him. And now that he's here, it's just even amazing. We get to actually build it even closer. Now it's not from like a phone. It's now I'm in person with him together. So we just meeting with each other, always talking about life, of course, plays, film. So it's just getting better.
And Luke went on to say that one of the reasons he made the decision to stay was because of Alonzo Carter being a part of this new staff. Carter talking about recruiting Speedy and being one of the guys that got away from this staff up in San Jose.
It's ironic because if you watch the Army All-American game, he had the Arizona hat, the San Jose State hat, and the Louisville hat. And we actually thought we had him. You know, he was very number one recruit on my board at that time. Had an opportunity to recruit him out of St. John Bosco. He was a 10-3 sprinter. So everything about him, I knew his strengths and weaknesses and was looking forward to working with him. So here it is. You fast forward 2 years later, I'm able to still do that. I think he can be a major part of what we're doing in our offense, just improving, getting his weight up, getting stronger, improving in catching the football as well, and then being huge in the special team space. I think that's a challenge I have for him. There's so many ways you can affect the football game. It's not just by running or catching the ball. You can change the game in special team space as well as being a very good change of pace running back, a third down back, which means you're going to have to know how to pre-snap, read, block, protect. We have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, so he needs to be able to count on you that you're able to ID and protect things. So I'm going to find ways to get him on that football field because he's a very dynamic player. He's real humble. He's a great teammate, and he's one of our returners, and I just want to see him shine because he's earned the opportunity to do that.
And one of the things that I like when you hear Speedy Luke talk about his story and why he wanted to come here, he's not a joiner. And we talk about so many kids that want to go to successful teams, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But there's also those kids that want to go somewhere maybe that hasn't had a lot of success and raise that level and put their own school on the map. And Speedy says that was one of the reasons that he wanted to play here at Arizona.
That's why I came here. That's why I came here. I really didn't know anything about Arizona, of course. And when I first heard about him, knowing that Noah was committed here, I played against Noah my whole high school careers. Jacob Manu played against him my whole high school careers. T-Mac wasn't committed yet, but just knowing that he has some heart here, it was just like, man, why would I go somewhere that's already kind of been good rather than come here and let's make it good. Let's make Tucson better again. Let's make it what it has been, what it's used to being. So that was my mindset on my recruiting, and that's why I came here.
I like that. I like guys that think like that want to define their own success, build a program up like we heard from Josh Baker, having been here when it was 0-5 and 70-7 and being on the backside now of 10-3 and winning a game and a big bowl game over a program like the Oklahoma Sooners. That's what you want. And we mentioned earlier, there's a bunch of guys. It's going to be fun. If there's a battle that's going to be fun to watch when camp starts on Wednesday, it's going to be this running back room. Bill Krosky Merritt, Kedrick Riscano, who we don't know a whole lot about, but was at Ole Miss. Had that kind of talent, recruited by Michigan State. So this is a kid with a lot of talent. Quali Connolly, who's coming down from San Jose State. And then Speedy Luke. Those are the guys at the top of the room. And then how about the other Luke? Tucson's Luke. Caden Luke, who don't think he's not going to find a way when you talk about, you heard Zoe Carter talking about special teams. Don't think Caden Luke's not going to find a way on that field because that if there was money on the board at the Desert Diamond Casino, I would take that bet in a heartbeat that Caden Luke is going to find his way on that field. Will it be this season? Maybe not, but he's going to find his way on that field. And Rayshon, Speedy Luke, understands that. And he said that that is not a problem for him, that there may be a running back rotation here at Arizona.
You want to be available. So, of course, in high school, you getting the ball every play. It ain't going to end well for you if you're trying to go to the NFL. So you kind of want to be available as well. So, like he said, it just comes with growth and understanding that you kind of need to take less reps so that you can be available if you want to have an extended career.
I got a question. You know, like there's the ironic nickname of like Tiny for the dude who's 450 pounds.
Tiny, yeah.
Has there ever been anybody nicknamed Speedy that was an ironic? I mean, I've never heard. If your nickname, DK, is Speedy,
right,
you know you can move.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I don't think that I've ever heard anybody use that ironically.
So yeah, the Speedy is not the slow. Speedy is not the slow fullback guy.
Right? No, they don't they don't call Shaquille O'Neal Speedy just for fun because he can't move around quite so good at 50. But yeah, no, if Speedy's your nickname, yeah, you know you got some jets.
Well, again, and I like what Alonzo Carter said. We got to find a way to get him there. It's almost like when I think about Rayshon Luke, I kind of think a lot about Devontae Neal back in the day, who was a player that they just could never really figure out. He had all this talent, he had all this speed, but they just never really could figure out how to get him in the offense. And I hope that does not happen with Rayshon Luke. And you know, whether it's getting him on special teams, getting him back there, returning some kicks, because again, we haven't, and we talk about that every year. I mean, the lost art of the return game, and how it's just you don't see that much anymore.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Speedy have a bit of a nagging injury coming out of camp last year? And then, like, the third or fourth game, he got some action and he had some kind of injury, right? It feels like he's one of those guys when the coaching staff is ready to give him some opportunities to show what he can do, that's when maybe an injury or two has hit thus far in his career here.
Well, he definitely had the injury the first year, you know, after he had a really good ball game, and then he got hurt down the stretch. And again, that's another reason why you've got to have a number of guys. You got to having a 3-4 deep running back room is never a bad thing. But yeah, I want to see Rayshon Speedy Luke flourish this year, and the running back room is going to be one fun battle to watch as we get ready for camp here.
All I even meant by the injury thing is I don't think I've seen Speedy Luke have an opportunity, DK, over the course of a regular season,
right,
to build what you've worked on over the summer into your game shape in the fall, and then through your game to week game day situation. I don't know that we've seen him with a natural cycle yet. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. Obviously, coaching staff's high on him.